Hi, my name is Florent Morin. I'm the head at The Pixeland. We are a tiny video games studio based in Paris, France. And I'm here to present to you our new project, The Wreck. The Wreck is a mature visual novel set in France, as you can see, and that will try to tackle topics that are fairly tough. At the Pixel Hunt, we pride ourselves in making what we call reality-inspired games. So all our games have always something to do with real life. Our first game, Bury My Love, was about the journey of a Syrian migrant from Syria to Europe, for instance. And this time, we wanted to make a game about something that sadly a lot of people have to face at some point of another, which is facing with the um, health issues of the people we love. And this main character that you can see on screen is called Junon, and she has just been called to the hospital because her mother is in the ER because she had a stroke. And Junon has to face this situation, and it's going to be complicated for her to face that, especially as you'll discover that her relationship with her mother is fairly complicated. So, about the game is a 3D visual novel. We tried to use the codes of visual novels, lots of dialogues, lots of conversations, and options to answer the thing you want, but we also tried to give it a twist. First, it's in full 3D, and second, you have to alternate between exploring Junon's thoughts in the upper part of the screen. Here, she's thinking about her life, for instance, and sometimes you can orient her thoughts in a decision or another, while clicking on words that are displayed differently from the rest of the thoughts. And if you explore the thoughts for long enough, you unlock dialogue options. So the more you explore the thoughts, for instance, if I continue to explore the thoughts here, I now have two different dialogue options. And so the first part of the game will be to get to know Junon, explore her thoughts and the way she's thinking, and find ways to answer to the people she's having conversations with in the game. The first person she's having a conversation with is the doctor who took her mother in charge when she arrived at the hospital. And so you are going to have this first conversation with her, and it's going to be complicated because as the player will discover, Junon has a trouble facing complicated situations. So you will have this conversation with the doctor. You will realize that you've been designated to decide for your mother if your mother is unable to make health related decisions, and you will freak out at some point. Just on a side note, technical side note, for now the character's mouth don't move, so we don't have the budget to actually do lip sync. We are a tiny team of 4 people, so it's out of our scope, but we will still have a variation in most positions so that it's a little bit more vivid and a little bit more like visual novels do, so that people can enjoy the very good voiceover, because the game is fully voiced, but we can't go to the extent of having actual lip sync synchronization. So Juno is going to freak out. As you can see, she sometimes has a little like a vocabulary that can be a little, yeah, borderline. And at some point, she is going to leave this conversation because she can't face it anymore. And I will fast forward a little bit now to show you what happens when she loses it and she quits the conversation with the doctor. So the doctor has asked Junon about what her mother would want if she were conscious, and Junon couldn't find an answer to that question, and she freaked out and she decided to leave the hospital. So she's going to take hop in her car and drive away because she's at a point in her life where facing complicated situations is completely out of question for her. She can't do that. And of course, later in the game, you'll understand why she can't. But the problem is, trying to run away, she gets into this a car accident, a wreck. And this is the first time you actually see the wreck in the game, but not the last time. You will be back and forth between what we call the last day, the moment in the hospital, and the wreck, the car accident in which you see items flying around, and you can click on some of them. And by clicking on some items, you will access Junon's memory. For instance, this very first memory of when she was 10 years old and she was in the backyard with her younger sister Diane, and they had found a bird that was hurt. And as she didn't really know how to react and what to do, she decided to give the bird to her mother, hoping that her mother would take care of the bird. And uh, but she always felt weird about that memory. She didn't really know why, but something was off. And know that she's in this car accident, know that she's reminiscing this weird memory, you will be able to investigate and to try to realize why that memory felt wrong and why you are thinking about it now. So with your mouse clicking with your mouse, you are going to be able to go forward and backward in the memory, and you are going to have to look after little hints, such as this one, and click on them. And through finding hints and clicking on them, you are going to progress in your better understanding of the story. In this particular case, you are going to realize that your mother actually killed the bird because the bird was hurt and he couldn't have gotten better because he was too badly hurt. And even if she didn't tell you, your mom didn't want to face having an injured bird and seeing it die slowly. And because she's very radical, she's all or nothing, she decided to, unbeknownst to you, kill the bird and bury it in the garden. And of course, know that you understand that from your distant memory. You realize that your mother is not the same as you. That in this situation, if it were happening to you, if you were the one having a stroke, you would probably have the people that take care of you do everything in their power to for you to live, even though you must have face long-term consequences to the stroke. But your mother is not exactly in this situation, and she's way more complicated than that, and she's way more radical than you are, and maybe you should take that into consideration. So once you finished exploring the memory, and you realized this very important fact and this very important difference between you and your mom, you are going to be transported back to the hospital scene, and I'll fast forward to show you that. So once you finished exploring your memory, you're back in the crash, but the crash is going in reverse, and you're actually back in the hospital and in the conversation you were having with the doctor. But this time, there's a little difference. You're able to react in a new way. This all or nothing that you learned about your mother while analyzing your memory is now available in the hospital scene, and you can click on it, and by clicking on it you unlock a new path in this way you have of navigating this very complicated moment of your life. And this is what's going to happen in the full game. You are going to alternate between this moment in the hospital, meeting with people you know and care about, as such as your sister and your ex-husband, and going like breaking, like uh, losing your mind with your conversation with them because they push you in ways that you don't like, and then you are going to take your car, have a crash again, explore new memories, understand new things about you, get back to the hospital and be able to find new paths and new ways to face this situation. This is going to be a back and forth until you reach the end of that day, and hopefully you've changed and you're able to face the situation and you've understood so much about yourself that you will never be the same again. So that's it. That's about the rec. We would really love to be able to show it to the audience at PAX and to gather lots of feedback. And so we really hope that you like it. The unique part of it is the cinematic visuals, the storyline, and the fact that we really tried to do something that's interesting and that will connect with all the people that face similar situation in their life and had to rethink who they were. And yeah, we hope you like it, and you will hope you will select it in order for us to be able to showcase it. Thanks a lot for your time. Bye.